I remember the first time I came into a yoga class. I came right out of a boxing session and I was very hyped up on adrenaline. And I thought it would be kind of a letdown and dreamy, something that wouldn't really challenge me much. And boy, was I wrong. I remember feeling lost and a little bit like a toddler learning how to walk for the first time. And at the end of the class, when I lay down in what they call shavasana, the resting pose, I had tears running down my face, and I was surprised that I could actually feel my body thanking me. I felt a sort of gratitude from my body. I think it's one of the first times that I really paid attention to my body and what my body was trying to say. Now I've learned that if I want to self-regulate my emotions, there really isn't any other way than to get in touch with the body. And this can be so frightening for someone who has a trauma history, because you're either very desensitized, you don't feel your body much, it hasn't mattered, nobody else cared about it, so why should you? And the other side could be very sensitive. So a lot of times we are on either or either side of the spectrum, and just getting in touch with the body can be quite a challenge. After I had many sessions doing yoga and practiced several times a week, I started searching for classes that could help me as a trauma survivor. So when I found Dr. Arielle Schwartz's classes, I was very intrigued, and it didn't take long before I felt really at home. So why is it called Polyvagal yoga? Well, these poses are rooted in the teachings of the Polyvagal theory. Basically, we are stimulating the largest nerve in the body, the vagus nerve. It runs from the brainstem and it regulates lungs, heart, stomach, and even connects with muscles in the throat and face. And there's a lot of good to come from vagal toning. It can lower inflammation, chronic illness, depression, anxiety. When I feel triggered or upset by something, my body just shifts right into fight-flight mode. Sometimes I end up screaming and yelling and throwing stuff. And this yoga has really helped me move from a fight or flight mode with more ease. So when I feel that I get stressed, my body has sort of a muscle memory now that it remembers, oh, okay, I've been here before. So I can actually go into this stressful situation, but still keep something tethered inside, if you know what I mean. I can still remember that I have a choice here. More often now than before, I feel myself pausing and recognizing and accepting these emotions. And hopefully one day I will not judge myself either for having these sensations or these emotions. There's a therapeutic aspect to these therapy sessions. A lot of times I would go to a therapist and I didn't understand why they couldn't hold space for my emotions. I actually didn't understand that that's what was happening at all. I would come in, I would feel that something wasn't right, and it wasn't a natural or safe environment for me to open up, and I would think it was my fault because that's how I grew up. One of the most important things about Dr. Arielle's classes is that she accepts her own emotions and she shares them. And that gives me a chance to open up, because if she can hold her space authentically in her emotions, then I can too.
To make that choice to come back home to self and to listen to my own voice and to know what I needed to do in honor of my own truth, and to let go of what I didn't have control over and who I couldn't save.
The progression in the classes are kind of slow. So we have a slow warm-up, and many spinal rotations. So I get a chance to actually connect to my body. And we have a lot of early core work, so don't get me wrong. My stomach gets so sore from doing this core work, but it does lay the groundwork for some of the standing poses. So where I before used to have a lot of pain doing chair pose, for instance, now I'm not sore anymore after class because I'm using my stomach instead of my back. Most of the time, Dr. Arielle Schwartz will offer you a lot of opt-ins or outs. And she always uses the word, I invite you to do this, I invite you to do that, which make me feel like, okay, so if my body can't bend this way or that way, that's fine, that's totally okay. So there's nothing wrong with my body, we're just different.
And exhale into an extended side angle, and you've got choices here. You can keep the forearm on the thigh and lift your left arm long, or your block is here and you might choose to take your fingertips to a block. Either way, finding your chosen challenge.
So I shared how this affects me in my daily life, where I feel I can regulate my emotions better, but I can also focus better. I feel like I'm able to be in conversations without focusing so much on myself, but actually on the other person. So I listen and take in what they're saying because I have a way of standing with my whole body connected. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of work still to do on my part. But I feel that I come out of social situations with more relaxed feeling and a more connected. You know, the only way that we're going to get better is if we actually make a change. And I know that's very difficult and can be very challenging to find time, but I highly recommend this as a very soft start to come into your body. You can opt in and out. You can stop the class when you're done. You don't have to do the full 90 minutes that she offers. And you can take a lot of rest during the class. But these yoga classes are a very high value, and I'm sure that if you try them, you would get something out of them that would really benefit you in your daily life. So good luck, and please share with comments if you feel the same way or if you have another experience with the Dr. Arielle's classes, or if you can recommend other yoga classes that are beneficial for trauma survivors.